Happy Friday, happy Facebook Friday. Welcome to everybody who's joining us here on this call today. If you're here, say hi. I want to hear from you guys today. Now, I'm doing this every Friday for you guys who've not watched me before, and what I do every Friday is, right now I wrote a blog called 10 Secrets to Being Superhuman. Hi, Kathy. How are you? 10 Secrets to Being Superhuman, and we're on secret number 3. So I'm going to be talking about that today. And then if you stay and hold on to the end, I'm going to show you guys a superfood, my super winter smoothie, and a secret thing. It's not really secret, but an ingredient that you wouldn't expect to be in a smoothie. And it's absolutely fabulous. This is something that both Caitlin and I love to drink on a regular basis. So welcome to everyone who's joining right now. We're going to be talking about secret number 3 of our Ways to be Superhuman from my blog that I wrote last month, and a super winter smoothie. So and again, I want to remind you, if you're on right now and you've got questions, type them now, even if I don't answer them right away, because that way I'll do it live versus answering later once the video gets recorded. So it's just important to get your questions on here so that we know, like, if you have a question, that's the whole point of being live. If you want to interact and you have questions, it's a great way to do it. Now, if you guys are seeing this video recorded, like you're watching it after the fact, just remember that I'm on every Friday. And if you join our mailing list, if you haven't joined our mailing list now, go to purejoyplanet.com and get on the mailing list, because we send out reminders when I'm going to go live. And we also, as a result of being on our mailing list, you get 15 free recipes, which do include some super awesome smoothies. And I put together a program of like 15 easy recipes to be a raw vegan and like easy ways to do this. So that's free when you sign up for our mailing list. So just go to Pure Joy Planet and opt in. Okay? So I'm really glad you're here. I'm having an amazing Friday so far. It's 4 o'clock here in Arizona, which would be 3 o'clock for you guys in California. And I know there's people watching from all over the place because I see it. So that's great. I'm glad you guys are here. And I love this way of being able to interact with you. This is just such a cool medium. I don't know who's out there, but it's just fun just to see the energy building and moving, and we seem to get more and more people coming on each week. So I'm just super excited about this. So what do I want to talk about with you guys today? What is secret number 3? It's probably something you've heard about a lot, and you're like, yeah, kind of lip service to it. And it's something when you hear what I'm going to say, you're like, oh, I knew that. So last week I talked about green juices and the power of alkalizing your body with green juices. The week before that, the number 1 thing was hydration and drinking water, plenty of water. And today, the third secret, or the third way to become superhuman, is about sleep. And we have every excuse in the book for not getting sleep. But I can guarantee you, people that are not getting enough sleep, which in the winter should be 8 hours. Now, in the summer, you might be able to get away with 7 hours, but I do not recommend less than 7 hours sleep a night. If you have to break it up and get a 2-hour nap or a 1-hour nap in the middle of the day and then 6 at night, because of your schedule, great. But you need to be getting at least 7 hours in the warm months, and in the cold winter months, you need to be getting 8 to 9 hours. I have a friend that sleeps shamelessly 9 hours a night, and she feels amazing. I like around the 8-hour mark. That works well for me in the winter. In the summer, I do sleep less, but not much less. Like 7 hours is great. But I've been waking up super early. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning because I fasted yesterday. And on days that I fast, I have so much energy because food takes up 80% of our digestion. So I'm not really here to talk about fasting today, but I'm just telling you that I'm excited and I have a lot of energy, because when I fast, I feel like my body really just is able to go into this super mode. And I'll get to that on another Facebook Friday. I'll talk about fasting. So today we're talking about sleep and getting enough. So what are some of the ways to get more sleep? Because I know it's easy to say, okay, get 8 hours, and like people are like, well, how do I do that? But I can guarantee you that one of the ways that people that are not saying they're getting 6 hours a night, those same people are probably up late at night on their computer, right? Am I right? Are you on Facebook, or you're on, your computer watching something, YouTube or Netflix or whatever it is, or you're just busy at night doing stuff. Maybe you're a night owl. What happens when we have these bright screens, whether it's on your iPhone or whether it's on your computer, it messes up with our circadian rhythms because our body still thinks it's sunlight, it's daylight, so it's really hard to fall asleep. So I'm going to give you guys a couple tricks on how to get more sleep, like what to do to avoid that. And if you're someone that's like, well, I'm not going to give up technology anytime soon because I really love it, great. Set a time limit for yourself. Okay, from 8 to 10, I'm going to let myself be sitting in bed and on technology, whether it's watching a movie or, doing Facebook or whatever. And at 10 o'clock, I'm going to turn it off. Even if I'm not tired, then I'm going to switch over to reading a book. Find yourself a really good book. Like, it can be like a juicy novel. It doesn't have to be educational. And reading is a really great way to put yourself to sleep because it slows your whole rhythm down and like you kind of get into the slower mode. And then instead of having these bright lights in your house on, like in your room or in your house at night, get some of those salt lamps or even a crystal lamp that has just a little night light inside of it. Like we like to just have like a little salt lamp on at night and maybe the fireplace is on, but it's kind of a warm glow in the house. Like the big overhead lights get turned off. And that kind of just settles your body down into a slower pace. And you can even put red light bulbs in your room if you want. It's kind of sexy, but it's also just, you can still see, but you don't have these bright lights on. So if you're just in your room doing other things, just your nighttime routine or whatever, you don't need a lot of light for that. And then another hack or another trick you can do is both on your computer and on your iPhone now. So on your iPhone, if you kind of flip it up where it has like the flashlight and all that stuff, there's also a little thing you can push, and it's for daylight, daytime, nighttime. So when the sun goes down here, which is around 6 p.m., my nighttime mode kicks in on my phone, and it gets dimmer. And on my computer, I have something called Flux, F-L-U-X, and I think it's F-L.UX or something like that. Is that what it is? Or F.L-U-X? Caitlin probably knows. But anyway, it's called Flux. Just type in Flux, and it's a free app, and when it does, and it's so funny because Caitlin and I, we live in the same house, so at night we'll be working, and suddenly sunset hits, and I go, did your computer just go dark? And she's like, yeah. So it doesn't go all the way dark, it just way dims down, and your eyes don't see that bright blue light. So those are two ways, if you are going to be attending technology at night, to kind of dim it down. So just pay attention to that. And so I'm just talking about sleep for those of you guys who just tuned in, how to get more sleep. And just stop using the excuse that you don't have enough time to sleep, because most people are doing other things at night, like they're on their computer, they're on their technology, or they're doing things that aren't really serving you. So what I was suggesting is meditation, reading, doing something to kind of slow your rhythms down. Even going to a later evening yoga class, like what do they call it, Zen yoga, or there's one called restorative yoga. There's a lot of names for it. Yin yoga is another one where you just do like stretches for a long time and you come home and you're really relaxed. So I'm just not buying into the excuse that people don't have enough time to sleep, because I feel like we all do. We're just deciding not to. And the sleep is going to, for anybody my age, like 50 or older or in your late 40s, it feels like you're going to start going through these hormone fluxes. And that could even be for young people now. I mean, it's happening to everybody. But a big part of that is if we're not going to sleep by 10 o'clock, we're not giving our hormones, because after 10 p.m., our hormones between, I think, 10 and midnight do a certain healing. And so if you're not sleeping at that time, your hormones never get in check. So if you are hormonally imbalanced, I want to encourage you to get lights out by 10 o'clock. And really, that way you're going to be waking up at 5 or 6, and you've got tons of morning energy, and you get a lot more done in the day. And it's not just about like driving yourself to do more. It's more about like, I got up and I had time to meditate, and I had time to go in my sauna, and I got a 2-hour hike in. So it's not like I'm getting up to work and be frantic, because I have a rule for myself that I don't go on my computer till 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, I like my morning routine. So whatever it is for you. But today's secret, today's thing to becoming more superhuman is more sleep, and not feeling guilty about it, being shameless about your sleep. Like, we deserve it. 8 hours of sleep is great, because then you're going to eat less. So if anybody out there is trying to like cut down on snacking and cut down on being so hungry, if you're sleep deprived, the biggest thing that happens, one of the main things that happens, is our ghrelin increases. And ghrelin, just think of like a gremlin, like, I want to eat. And that's what makes us more hungry, so we have more ghrelin in our body. And so when I've noticed, like when I'm plane traveling, or I'm sleep deprived, I've only had 4 hours or 5 hours, I just want to eat. Like, I'm not really hungry, but I am. Like, there's some part of me that's like, you need to eat, just because I'm trying to get my rhythm going. So there's a lot of reasons to get more sleep, and I just don't want anybody to feel guilty about getting more sleep. So do we have any questions out there yet? Hi, what is it? Arlene just joined, and Manuela, hi Manuela. And Tanya's here. Hi Tanya Thurman. So it's good to see you guys here. I just want to remind you, if you do have questions for me, to post them during this talk, and I'll answer them by the end, because once the call's over, then it goes into a recorded video, and then I don't get a chance to really answer your questions. So let me know if there's anything. It doesn't have to be with what I'm talking about today, but if you have any questions you want to talk about, Caitlin will write them down. She's over there. She'll comment on things too if you guys need a link or something. But anyway, I'm really glad to be here, and I want to show you guys today what my favorite thing to do is make recipes and do food and be in the kitchen. And I really don't spend that much time in the kitchen, honestly. My breakfast usually consists of some kind of morning hot beverage. It's either my longevity coffee, which I've shown you guys before, or a hot tea, or like I start every day with a celery juice, which I talked about last week. And then sometimes I'll make a smoothie if I do a big workout, so that's what I'm going to show you now. So you don't have to feel like you have to spend hours in the kitchen. You can do quick and easy stuff. And if it's really cold where you live, maybe you might be in Ecuador right now, and you might be in Arizona, which is like, we're in between the 50s and the 70s Fahrenheit. But you might also be somewhere super cold like Canada. And if you are in Canada, my heart goes out to you right now. So I'm going to give you guys some tricks for, like you're thinking, smoothie, that's too cold. I'll give you some tricks for how to make it not cold, okay? So we're going to get into smoothie. This is a super winter smoothie, and I'm going to show you guys a variety of ingredients that you can add in, but don't feel like you have to add them all in. Most of this stuff is going to be optional. I'll show you the base. I'll show you a couple interesting things that you probably never thought of putting in a smoothie, and then we'll show you some additions, okay? Because I like to give a lot of information, and I've been told that, like, you give a lot of information. But I feel like if I give you a lot, then you can just pick and choose. Don't feel like you have to do everything. It's not really about doing everything. Okay, so I'm using my Vitamix. So I'm going to pull everything here into place. So I've got my Vitamix, my trusty Vitamix. I actually called the other day on my Vitamix because the dial started acting weird. It was like glitchy. And I have more than one Vitamix. And she's like, your warranty is way up. This is like a 10-year-old Vitamix. I'm like, oh. So I had that Vitamix for 10 years, and I use it for a lot of stuff, for classes, for teaching, for all kinds of stuff. And it lasted me for 10 years. And it still works. It just had a little glitch. So anyway, I wrote a blog also on how to choose the best blender, and this one won. The Vitamix won. That was a spoiler alert right there. Okay, so let's get ready. Let's get going. Let's do the smoothie dance. Okay, so our first ingredient is the first ingredient that I'm actually putting in is something that's unique. It's not a unique thing, but it's something that a lot of people don't think about putting in their smoothie. Because one thing you guys know about me, whoever's been following me for a while, is I'm not a big fan of bananas. Like, I'll have them from time to time, maybe as a yummy dessert. But for the morning time, I don't want to get my blood sugar all spiked up. So if you don't put bananas in your smoothie, or you don't put like mangoes or something really sweet and creamy, what's going to give it some body? Well, the answer is zucchini. So I've got like one chopped zucchini, and you keep the skins on, so it's got that yummy, all the phytonutrients that are in the skin. All the color from your vegetables, that's where your phytonutrients, the nutrition comes from. So you don't want to peel your vegetables if you can help it, unless you just are giving this to a kid and you don't want it to look as green. But anyway, so the next thing we're going to add in is we're going to get some frozen blueberries, and we're going to add that in. Now, berries are the lowest glycemic fruit of everything. You know, there's raspberries, there's blueberries, there's blackberries. Blueberries are a little sweeter than raspberries. Like, raspberries only have 7 grams of sugar per cup, so that's actually pretty good. So we'll put in a couple cups of blueberries here, and these are frozen. But for my friends in Canada, or wherever, even the northern part of the U.S., that are living in a cold climate right now, what you can do is you can defrost your blueberries in the fridge, because they're not really in season at the moment. Or you can use a seasonal fruit like an apple. You can chop that up. And if they are already frozen and you don't know what to do, my trick for you guys that are living in a cold climate, so that was about 1 zucchini so far and about 2 cups of blueberries, but you could even just do 1 cup. I'm kind of doing a larger portion today. But those of you guys who live in colder climates, you can use some hot tea. Like right now on the stove top, we have some chaga tea boiling. So I could put in some hot chaga tea. I'm going to just use water because like here it's not as cold, so it doesn't bother me to have something a little bit chilled. I'm going to use my crystal water here. I showed you guys this in another Facebook Live I did. It's kind of charging the water with crystals. And I'm going to put in I'm going to start with about a cup of water. Like, I don't want to put too much because we don't want it to be soupy. We want it to be kind of thick. So we'll put in some water. So far that's pretty basic, right? You got your zucchini, you've got your blueberries, you've got some water. Now I need to think about what do I want to use as my fat. So there's a couple options I have. People all the time ask me about what do I think of vegan protein powder. And honestly, I have not found a vegan protein powder that really works in my body. I am one of those people that tends to, like, I have this, whatever's going on in my gut, even though I feel really healthy. When I do pea starch, the pea protein that a lot of the vegan products have now, it makes my gut really bloated. So and there's always a lot of ingredients in these protein powders, the vegan ones, that just don't seem necessary. There's just so many ingredients in there, and I feel like it's too much information for my body. So I've decided to just keep it really simple, and now I just use hemp seeds in my shakes. And I just keep a scooper in here, and I do about 2 scoops. You know, so maybe that's like 2 to 3 tablespoons. And that's going to give you your omega-3s for the day, and it's going to give you a lot of protein. Hemp is super high in protein, and it's super bioavailable. So for people that are not vegan that are watching this that say, where do you get your protein? Because it's an honest question. I'm not making fun of you. I know a lot of people really feel like they need a lot of protein, but the question I have for you is that protein bioavailable? And what that means is when you eat a steak or you eat a piece of chicken, how much of it is actually getting turned into the amino acids that you need to create your own protein. We create protein from amino acids. When we eat a cooked animal protein, we have to actually break that down and turn it into amino acids so that we can build it into protein again. So how much of that is actually bioavailable that we can actually use? Whereas with a hemp seed, this is the raw material, man. This is the stuff that animals eat to get the protein, to make their own huge bodies. So I'm all for just a simple hemp seed. And I get these from Costco. They're organic. They're by a company called, I think, Nativa. And they're awesome. They taste amazing. So that's the next ingredient. So a couple scoops of hemp seeds. And if you already have protein powder, go ahead and use it up. But then what I would say is I would suggest experimenting with what happens when I eat hemp seeds and what happens when I eat the protein powder. Like, do I have more energy? Do I have less energy? And it's not just about the taste, although this is going to taste amazing. Okay, so we got the hemp seeds out of the way. The next thing I want to talk about, this is an alternative fat, so you do either the hemp seeds or this, and this is coconut meat. I have a little bit in the bowl here. And we have a really great trick that we've been doing lately, because instead of going and buying all the coconuts and opening them yourself, you can buy them online from a company called Exotic Superfoods, and it comes frozen in 1-pound bags. Those of you in the other countries, that's half a kilo. And you get 11 bags for like $100. So I think that's about right. Is that the right price? Mm-hmm. So they end up being a little less than $10 a bag. But when you think about all the coconuts you have to open and all the effort you go through, I just like having these in the freezer, and then I can defrost them and make yogurt and all kinds of stuff, which if you're curious about that, I do have some online courses, which I'll talk about later, that you can learn how to make your own cultured food. So anyway, that's the coconut meat. So you could put in like a piece about this size, which is maybe like a half a cup of coconut meat. It's also got protein in it. It's got really healthy fat, so one or the other. Then we're going to get into all the superfoods. What can I put in? So you guys have seen me talk about this before, the Vitamineral green. It's one of my favorite greens. I know this is backwards on the screen, but this has spirulina. It has all the grasses, like the barley grass, the wheatgrass, the oatgrass, there's all kinds of different grasses in there. And it's also got dulse and other seaweeds like kelp. It's got medicinal mushrooms in it. So if you want a one-size-fits-all, like I don't know what to take, start out with something like this. It's called Vitamineral Green, and of all the green powders on the market, this is my favorite. And I've been using this for years. And most of my friends that take it always tell me the exact same thing. So anybody out there that's taken it might know this. It makes your nails grow really strong and fast. And like they're not just long, but they're strong. Every time I take this every day, my nails start to get better. So that's a sign that your hair is getting stronger, everything's getting better. If your nails are strong, then it's a sign for what's going on in your body. So you could put either that in, or you could put a scoop of spirulina in. So what's so great about spirulina? Spirulina is, so we're talking back on the protein, because this is morning time. This is after a workout. Like you want to kind of rebuild with amino acids. So spirulina by weight is 60% protein, and it's 90% absorbable. Whereas meat is probably, I think I heard the statistic around 37% absorbable. That's the last time I heard a statistic on that. But so you're getting way more absorbability from spirulina. And the other great benefit of spirulina, there's so many great benefits, but one of them is that it improves your eyesight. The other one is that it's really good. It's a good source of iron. So anybody that's feeling anemic, low energy, spirulina is really great. And, it's just got all these building blocks. So it's a really awesome superfood. So I'm going to actually use that today in our smoothie. But I'm just going to add a little bit. You can add like a tablespoon. If you're new to it, you want to just add like a teaspoon. So it's afternoon for me, so I don't need as much energy. And spirulina for me is one of those super energizing foods. So after 2 p.m., I usually don't have it because I actually have literally laid in my bed and seen like a spinning, like a spiraling. And I'm like, wow, that's what spirulina does. So if you take it in the morning, that spiraling is not like dizzy, but it's like a good energy spiral. So it actually energizes. So you don't want to do this late at night, okay? Save this for the morning time. So I just put a little bit in. Okay, so now that we've got our base in there, we've got our superfoods, we've got a base, something to blend, we can start thinking about other little additions that we can add into this. So since it's winter time, and I promised you guys a winter smoothie, you can add in some ginger. I've got 3 pieces of ginger here. This is organic ginger. I did not peel it because, again, there are phytonutrients in the skin. Skin is good, especially when it's organic. If it's not organic, you want to peel it. Okay, so those 3 chunks are going in. And then I'm going to add some mint leaf because blueberry mint, doesn't that sound amazing? Mint, so let's talk a little bit about herbs. What's the difference between herbs and like lettuce? So herbs like mint, things like that, dill, parsley, even arugula, even though that's, a green, but they are super full of ormus and they're super full of, because they're so small, there's just a lot more nutrition in them. So you just get a lot more bang for your buck from herbs. So whenever you see a recipe that calls for mint or calls for, even basil, try and do fresh versus dried because the fresh stuff is just so much better. So I put a handful in. I would say that's probably balled up, maybe a packed 1 to 2 tablespoons. So that's going to taste really yummy in there. And then if you want it a little sweeter, because we didn't put banana in, we put zucchini in, right? So just a little dash of stevia. We use one called Sweet Stevia, which we sell on Pure Joy Planet. But you can also buy, I like the Sweet Leaf liquid that you can get, but I'm just literally going to do like a dash of stevia, not too much. Stevia is good for balancing your blood sugar, and it's great for anybody that you're trying to get off sugars. If they have cancer, if they have diabetes, or if it's you and your blood sugar is all out of whack, get off all the sweet stuff and start substituting with stevia, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to add in, this is kind of a fun one, and whoever out there has taken my liver flush, let's see who's there now. Hi, Kimberly Mack. And so if you've taken my liver flush before, you know that malic acid is a key ingredient to flushing your liver. Why? Because it dilates the bile ducts and it softens stones. So even if you're not on a liver flush and you're using this, one great benefit of malic acid is it clears the skin. Why does it clear the skin? Because it's helping the liver. Liver and skin are tied. If you have a bad skin, you probably need to cleanse your liver. So we can talk about liver cleanses on another call because I do lead guided liver flushes, and we have one coming up in April for those of you guys who live in the Arizona area. But malic acid, also one of the great benefits is it tastes like a yummy sour lemon. So like if I wanted to make a berry smoothie and I wanted to have a little bit more sourness to it, I could just add a little scoop of malic acid, and what that's going to do is it's also, just a little bit, it's also going to sour it and make it flavorful, but it's going to be cleansing me at the same time. It can actually be a bowel flusher too if you take too much. But don't worry, it's actually really healthy for you. It's really beneficial for you. It just is made from sour apples. It's a concentrate, and they've taken all the sugar out. Okay? So instead of drinking a bunch of apple juice on liver flush, you can just do malic acid. And then another thing, and remember, for those of you guys who just joined, I'm putting a lot of extras in, but I'm just talking about them, and you could just pick one out of all these things I showed you. You can just do just the malic acid, just the ginger. Another anti-inflammatory for wintertime and a warming food is turmeric. We love our turmeric. I try and remember to put it in everything. I like to sprinkle it on my salad. I like to throw it in my smoothies. When I'm cooking, I like to put it in the skillet, like with the onions and the veggies. It's so beneficial for you. Actually, it's so beneficial that my bottle's empty. I bought a pound of this stuff, and I have to keep refilling my bottle. That's how quickly I go through it. I can't believe it's empty again. All right, so I'm just going to put a dash in. If you overdo the turmeric, it can be a little bitter, but I will tell you that the more you do of these superfoods, like the spirulina and the turmeric, your tongue adapts and you start craving it. Same with dulse, same with a lot of these herbs. Like at first you don't like it, and then your body's like, give me that! You know, it's kind of like when you see a kid like chugging down a green juice, you're like, how did they even know they like that? The mom gives it to them, and then they're like, the brain goes, I need this. So that's the way the body works. You give the brain the information, and then it says, give me more of that. That's why people that are new to veganism and vegetarianism are like, I just crave meat. It's because that's what the body remembers as a source of energy and protein. But once you switch over, then it just starts sounding like, oh, I don't want that. Like, it's not going to digest. I don't like it. I don't like the taste anymore. So we're all in different places with this, but it's easy to switch over once you start giving yourself healthy food. And that's one of the other things, and I'll talk about this more on another call too, is that people tend to, I was going to make a really good point right there. Oh, I know, mistakes that vegans make is they tend to go junk food vegan. They start eating all this white bread, and oh, did you know that Twinkies are vegan? Did you know that Oreo cookies are vegan? And yum, yum, yum. And I know that people that follow my page are usually more like healthy vegans or healthy eaters, healthy plant-based people. But I do see that mistake a lot of like tons of sugar and tons of just bad food as long as it's vegan. And I'm like, that's so like the road to unhealthiness, the road to malnourishment. Okay, so I wanted to add another ingredient in here, which is another superfood. Like these are all fun foods, but they're also superfoods. And this is a great one for you moms out there that are trying to feed your kids healthy, but they don't like the color green. Beet powder, or a beet. So I've got beets in my fridge right now, but I wanted to show you guys this trick, which beet powder, and just go on Amazon.com and put in beet powder, and you can order a bag of it. It's not very expensive. But what's beet powder good for? I used to use this when I did my very first cleanse 20 years ago. It's good for alkalizing the liver and the kidneys. So it's really beneficial for your organs, and it also adds the color red to your food. So I'm actually just using it as a food coloring today, like maybe about a tablespoon of it, but you also get the benefits. So that's the great thing about most of the foods I do is, yeah, they're beautiful, yeah, they taste good, but you get so much nutrition from it that it's just amazing. So I'm just going to add a couple more ingredients, and like I said, for you guys who just joined, you don't have to do everything. I'm just kind of showing you all my little tricks. Another one is some strawberry essence. So we got blueberries in there, we got beets in there. We want to kind of give it a berryish flavor, even though there's no strawberries in there. So I'm going to give it like 4 drops of this yummy medicine flower strawberry essence. And for those of you who are new to it, it's super packed. Like one bottle will last you about a year. And we have this on Pure Joy Planet. And it's just an amazing like food booster, like a booster, and it's from concentrate from the fruit. It's a CO2 extraction, so it's like an extract on steroids. It's like super strong, so you only need a couple drops. Okay, so I think I'm ready to blend, and just a couple more additions that you could do. You can see I've already done it in other times. You could zest some orange zest in there to give it kind of like oranges are in season right now, so that's like a nice yummy orange flavor. And you could add also a dash of Himalayan salt if you need a little extra minerals in your diet, and that'll also give it flavor. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to get ready to blend, but don't leave because after I pour these, I'm also going to do some Q&A at the end, so stay tuned for that because I know I've seen some questions popping up. But if I answer them in the middle, then I lose my flow, so we don't want that to happen. All right, I'm going to blend this baby, and then I might need to add more water from the top. We'll see what happens. Do, do, do. Is that on? On. Oops. Okay, I have a blender that, is it plugged in? Can you help me, Caitlin? It's plugged in, but might not be plugged in right. Okay, so here we go. Toot, toot, toot. Looking really good. Can you guys see that even though I put spirulina and mint and zucchini, it's not green? But if I want it to be a little bit more red, since you get this beet powder by the pound, you can use as much as you want, and it's so good for you. I'm going to add a little bit more. I love to go crazy on my beet powder. Beet powder is just, oh God, it's so good for so many things. And then we'll start again. Let's see, one is over there. I'm doing this backwards. enough to get it really smooth, because I always used to tell, when I had a cafe, I'd tell my employees it's a smoothie, not a chunky, because I'd see them serving these smoothies and they still have these chunks in them. Kids don't like chunkies, and you want it to be super smooth and creamy. I mean, this is how you win people over, including yourself. You got to win yourself over first, right? So this is how to get more nourishment. This thing is $100 smoothie right here. It doesn't cost $100, but whenever I have company over and I make some kind of amazing superfood smoothie, I'm like, this is a $100 smoothie if you went to Whole Foods and got all these ingredients in there. So it's so much cheaper to make your food at home, and you know exactly what you're getting. So now it's time for the taste. Just gonna make sure I'm happy with it. Yum! That's so good. Oh my gosh. Caitlin and I are gonna drink this when it's over, or maybe right now. And you're gonna love it because it has a lot of ginger in it.
I can't wait.
We love our ginger. Because ginger is so warming, people always want to know, what do I do when it's cold out? So this is perfect for 2 people, and whoever you are serving this to will fall in love with you. Because that's just the way it works. People love to get fed nutritious food. And I'm not done yet. Oh, that's not all. We gotta top it with some yummies. So if you guys watched my Valentine's one, I used these for my chocolates, and they turned out fabulous. I wish you guys could taste a vision. But so I love these. I get these online. I think I get these from Thrive, thrivemarket.com. We can put a link in there for you guys. If you haven't tried it out yet, Thrive is an awesome company. So I like to sprinkle this on top, and it gives it all this color, and it makes people excited, including me being the people. And you just feel like you're getting, all of a sudden it goes from being a morning healthy smoothie to actually a treat. So for moms or for people trying to feed their hubbies or their wives better, this is the perfect way to do it. You got to make it look good, man. And if Taylor's on here today, this is for you, girl. She used to come and visit me when I lived in Scottsdale, and I would make these for us every morning. And she lost all this weight while she stayed with me, and she was like, I felt so amazing when I lived with you all summer. And so like this was our morning thing. Like we'd go to this hot yoga and we'd come back and make this cold smoothie in the summer. So I just want to get you guys excited again about making healthy food, and you can see how easy it is. And the best thing to do is like stock your kitchen and just have your stuff on hand when you go shopping, know what you need. And how do you know how to do that? Well, one of the ways you can do that is you can join our Love Camp. So we turned it in from boot camp to Love Camp. So instead of kicking your butt, we're going to love your butt into action. So what our Love Camp includes is it's a 4-week program that you get me and Caitlin and Allie all month long. You get us live, you get us like emails, you get contact with us, any questions you have, and we put you on a program. We give you shopping lists every week. So every week you get a new shopping list, and you get recipes for the week, which Caitlin did this amazing ebook with beautiful, it's like a recipe book. It's got beautiful, gorgeous photos and all the recipes spelled out. And every season we do this. So we just did a winter one. Now this is going to be our spring one. We changed the recipes up to be more seasonal. And we guide you through how to be plant-based for 4 weeks. But it's not just plant-based, it's also gluten-free. It's very few grains. So you're getting all this food and you're feeling amazing, but you're not eating, you're not eating out, and you're not eating all these like canola oil, which I'm going to post I posted a video on my Pure Joy Planet page today about the disgustingness of canola oil. So if you're curious about it, watch that video. Because you'll never want to eat it again. And when you eat out there, I guarantee you, even the olive oil is cut with canola oil. I've heard this over and over again, and I've even asked, and they're like, yeah, it's canola oil. So what I'm trying to say is our Love Camp is amazing. We're going to give you guys that are watching today, because I want to just give you guys a bonus for being here, a discount on it. So you can just go to the link that Caitlin's posting like in the comments here, and you're going to get 10% off until midnight tonight. And because we want to make it easy for you to transform yourself, transform your health. And we just love you. I love you. I want you to be healthier. And I love having people do this with me. So the code for that is, what's the code for the Love Camp? Did you put it on here? 17. Oh, February 17. It's all one word and there's no TH. It's just the word February, lowercase, with a 1 and a 7. So February 17. Put that in as your discount code and you get 10% off. So that's a pretty good savings.
And is it good for kids, like 13-month-olds?
Is it good for kids? Yeah, the program's amazing because it's just real food. It's just whole food. It's things like burritos and, but they're all just super healthy. And it's got some cooked soups. It's got cooked and raw. So if you're in a place where it's winter still, like even in spring, we don't just do only raw food. We do a combination of cooked and raw. And I'm pulling out a lot of my cooked recipes, which you guys haven't seen, those of you guys who've done my other courses. And Caitlin has some really amazing recipes in there. We have hummuses, we have desserts, we have puddings, we have chocolates, all kinds of amazing stuff. So you're going to love it. And a lot of it's not just recipes, it's videos. So you get to watch like a video course of me doing it, which is another great thing, because a lot of times people fail because they don't have enough interaction. We send you an email every day with a lesson, and you get to click onto the page to watch all your lessons, and you can watch them as many as you want after they've passed. You can go back and watch them again. And we give you shopping lists, and we give you other lists like why it's important to go organic. Like, so we're educating you. We're not just feeding you food. We're like giving you a whole like plant-based education. I think this course is like worth $1,000, honestly, and it's so inexpensive. It's normally $200, so you guys get it for $180 if you sign up today. And I want to remind you guys to join our mailing list too, so you know when I do the next Facebook Live, which will be every Friday, but sometimes I pop in on a Wednesday. Sometimes I'm like, let's do a meditation together. So if I'm going to go live, we usually send out an email, and you also get all my blog posts and all that. So sign up on purejoyplanet.com, and you also get 15, as a result of signing up, you get 15 free recipes. And they include super amazing yummy smoothies, and they're all written out for you. And that's just like how to be plant-based, how to be vegan, how to be raw. So thank you guys for joining me today. I think we have some questions. So Tim, if you're still there, you wanted to know how much juice do you drink on days that you fast? That's a really great question. Yesterday I drank 32 ounces yesterday, but because I drank some tea and I was just kind of trying to do the bare minimum. But normally, like if I'm going more than one day of fasting, I like to do like 2 32 ounces. So that's 64 ounces, 2 32 ounces. And if you're wondering what 32 ounces is, this is 32 ounces. It's a quart, it's 4 cups. So I do 2 of those a day, and I do celery, I do cucumber, I do lemon. I don't do fruit juices, and I don't do carrot or beet juice. I keep it low gly, okay? So thanks for asking that, Tim. Is that Tim Williamson? Because he's a faster. I know you, Tim. You love to fast. That's great. So Susan asked, does eating help raw banana gut bacteria?
No,
Does eating raw... I'm sorry. That was weird. Does eating raw help balance gut bacteria? Yes and no. So this is a whole nother lesson which I can get into, but just quickly I'll say fructooligosaccharides, which I know is a long word. Another word for it is prebiotics, which is in things like jicama, asparagus. There's quite a few other foods. Can you think of any other offhand that are fructooligosaccharides? I know you cone syrup, but you have to do that in minimal. But anyway, some of the raw foods are prebiotic, which means prebiotic means it feeds the good bacteria, but you still have to be taking your probiotic. Does that make sense? Probiotic is the thing that's the good flora that you're putting into your body. The prebiotic actually gives it yummy food, so it'll stay in your gut. Because if you don't give it any prebiotics, it's not going to stay around. And yes, to answer your question, raw foods have a lot of prebiotics. So you cannot go wrong with your gut bacteria by eating raw food. Raw foods is a super healing diet, and I actually recommend a raw food diet for like the first year, and then you can kind of go back to 20% cooked food and find the balance for yourself. But someone who needs to really cleanse and heal, a year is great. And I got a lot of other tricks for that, and I'm going to be teaching you guys a lot more courses on this. We're going to actually do a whole online course on healing your gut bacteria and ways that you can fast, and we're going to do a whole, there's so much stuff we have in store. But anyway, to answer your question, yes, raw foods can definitely help. And then Silvana, hello Silvana, she asked, do you store vitamin green in your fridge? I don't, because our house is always at a good temperature. Like even now we don't have heat on, but it's at like 65 degrees. So our houses never really get very hot, and we keep the air on in the summer. So if you're in a place, don't store it in your garage. If you're in a place that gets really hot, keep it in the fridge. But I'm afraid always of refrigerating superfoods because the moisture gets in there and then it gets cakey. So just keep it in a cool storage in your cupboard, just away from a warm, don't put it next to your refrigerator where it gets kind of a little bit warm. Okay, so Kimberly wants to know how much beet powder to help the liver daily. I would say a tablespoon daily. Because I was taking these capsules, and I remember I had to take 15 capsules, which is probably about a tablespoon. So a tablespoon, and just put it in your smoothie. Oh my God, it tastes so good in here. And doesn't this look good? Don't you wish that you were here right now? You guys have to join me for a retreat. Let's do some kind of fun retreat, and we can all get together and make smoothies and sit around and tell stories and and go on hikes and do yoga and have some fun. We'll have to figure out a great place. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. We'd love to get you guys all together for a fun, just a super inexpensive, fun weekend retreat. So we'll let you know about that too. There's so much going on here. Matthias is here. Matthias, hello, hello, welcome. Oh my God, all my friends are here. I love Facebook. I love you guys. Well, that's pretty much it for me today, unless we have any more questions. I think I got the ones that you guys asked. Thank you, Caitlin. I want to thank Caitlin, who's my producer, because she's over there like answering questions and making sure everything's working right. So we're going to keep bringing this to you live, keep coming back, having fun. I just love doing this. And Haley says, great class. Thank you, Haley. Hi, Matthias. Hi, Kathy again. Hi, all of you, and I love you, and I'll see you guys next Friday, same bat channel and same bat time. And we're going to drink our smoothies.
Yeah.